Hey folks, my name's Ed Trevors. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm an Anglican priest serving in the beautiful parish of Christchurch-Shelburne that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. I had a conversation with a very, very smart person the other day. Ridiculously smart. Incredibly wise, academically inclined, and a Bruins fan. So you know he's got to be smart. We were talking about the importance of our stories, the importance of our memories, the importance of our experiences. And in particular, we were talking about how important it is to be able to share our stories and our experiences, how important it is to be able to offer them out into the world. And he said something that really inspired me and challenged me. He said something that inspired me to explore my past, challenged me to put my ego to the test. As we were talking about our stories, he said, but sometimes I wonder, what if my story doesn't matter to anybody? What if I share my story and nobody cares? Now, what I'm about to say is going to sound incredibly cliche. And maybe it is. But if it is a cliche, it's a cliche for a reason, because I believe it's wisdom. You see, if we tell our story, and our story changes the lives of 100 million people, it's wonderful. But does that validate our story? Does that validate our story for us? Does that affirm our story for us? Does that make our story, our experience, our memories important to us? Will it change the way we see those stories, the way we experience those memories? From an early time, people have used words when dealing with us. Words like, get over it. Stand up, brush yourself off. Forget about it. What's done is done. Don't pat yourself on the back. People have used words, people have used statements, often flippantly. They don't mean anything by it. It was what was taught to them. People use these words, these expressions, these sayings, these proverbs, colloquialisms. And what they're actually telling us is, keep your stories to yourself, keep your memories to yourself, keep your experiences to yourself. They don't matter. Move on. They don't matter. Go forward. They don't matter. Forget about it. We're taught that our stories should be buried way down deep, that we should swallow them, keep them out of the light of day, be done with them, forget about them, move on from them. We're taught that they don't mean anything. Sadly, nothing could be further from the truth. See, our stories do have the ability to change the world. Our stories do, as we bring them out into the light of day, as we share them, our stories do have the ability to change the lives of the people around us, to change the way our societies operate, to change the way our cultures work. When enough of us share our stories, and those stories share commonalities, society notices. But if we share our story only so that society notices, when it comes time to share something that society doesn't notice, that doesn't matter to the people around us, are we then saying that that story doesn't have value? And that's the danger of wanting the people around us to validate and affirm us. The only person that genuinely needs to embrace, appreciate our story is us. Because we have been taught so well to bury our experiences way down deep, we are also taught not to trust them. We're taught not to appreciate them. And so what really needs to happen when we tell our story is that we listen as we're uttering those words, as we're writing those words. We listen as we re-explore those experiences. We appreciate what it is that we went through, good and bad. That we value what it is we felt. That we value what it is we remember. We value what it is we hold to. It's a wonderful thing that our stories have the power to change the world. But the change starts with us. It must start with us. Our growth, our learning, our future comes from understanding, appreciating, valuing where it is we come from. Please tell your story. Tell your story, let the whole world hear it. But as you're telling it, please listen to it yourself. It's a wonderful story. It's a worthwhile story. It's a transformative story. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that we will share our stories with the world. And I pray as we do, we will fall in love with them so that they can be for us a foundation upon which we grow. Amen.